You learn a new word. And then you hear it 3 times the next day. You buy a red car. And suddenly red cars are everywhere. Someone mentions a band you've never heard of. And then their name appears on a poster, in a playlist, in a conversation at work, all within the same week. You probably assumed it was coincidence. Or maybe some strange trick of the universe nudging you toward something. It isn't. And what's actually happening is far stranger, and far more revealing about how your brain decides what reality looks like, than any coincidence could be. Here's the part nobody tells you: your brain is not showing you the world. It is showing you a version of the world it has already decided is worth seeing. And the moment you notice something new, the rules of that version change. Let's go back. Not to a mystical experience or a moment of synchronicity, but to a specific mechanism your brain has been running since before you were born. You are not perceiving reality directly. No human ever has. What you experience as seeing, hearing, noticing, is the output of a ruthless filtering system that discards the overwhelming majority of incoming sensory data before it ever reaches your conscious awareness. Every second, your sensory system receives approximately 11 million bits of information. Your conscious mind processes around 50 out of 11 million. The rest is filtered, compressed, discarded, by a system that has to make instant decisions about what matters and what doesn't. That system is called the Reticular Activating System. A dense bundle of neurons running through your brainstem, discovered and mapped in detail by neuroscientist Giuseppe Moruzzi and physiologist Horace Magoun in 1949. Its job is to act as your brain's relevance filter, constantly scanning incoming data and deciding, in milliseconds, what gets flagged for conscious attention and what gets thrown away. Reticular Activating System. That's the name. Here's what it means: a neural network in the brainstem that regulates what sensory information reaches your conscious awareness, filtering billions of inputs down to only what your brain has been told to prioritize. And here's why it matters to you: your RAS doesn't decide what's objectively important. It decides what's important based on what you've recently focused on, feared, desired, or been told to notice. And once something gets flagged, once your brain adds it to the priority list, the filter changes. What was invisible before becomes impossible to miss. This is the Baader-Meinhof Effect. Named after a German political group, not because they had anything to do with the phenomenon, but because in 1994 a reader of the St. Paul Pioneer Press noticed that he'd heard the name Baader-Meinhof twice in one day and wrote in to describe the experience. The name stuck. The phenomenon itself had been running in every human brain for as long as brains have existed. Baader-Meinhof Effect. That's the name. Here's what it means: the experience of noticing something for the first time and then encountering it repeatedly in a short period, not because it appears more frequently, but because your brain's filter has been updated to flag it. And here's why it matters to you: it means the world you perceive is not a neutral recording of what exists. It is an edited broadcast, shaped in real time by what your brain has recently decided to prioritize. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't a glitch. It was never a glitch. Go back 200,000 years. You are tracking an animal you've never hunted before. You study its tracks. Its droppings. The way it bends the grass. And then, because your RAS has been updated with this new pattern, you start seeing its signs everywhere in the landscape that was invisible to you the day before. The animal didn't suddenly appear more often. You became capable of seeing it. Your ancestors' survival depended on this exact mechanism. The ability to rapidly update the relevance filter after new learning, to go from not noticing something to noticing it everywhere, was a critical edge. It meant that a single encounter with a new threat, a new food source, a new predator, could immediately reorganize your entire perceptual landscape around that thing. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman at Princeton spent decades studying how the brain constructs and updates its models of reality. What his research showed is that the brain operates on a prediction engine, constantly building models of what to expect and updating them when new data arrives. The Baader-Meinhof effect is that update process becoming visible. You're not seeing more red cars. You're seeing the moment your prediction engine adds red car to its active template. Think about the last time you were considering a major decision, a new job, a move, a relationship. Did you notice how suddenly everything seemed to relate to it? Articles, conversations, signs, all apparently pointing to the same thing. That wasn't the universe speaking. That was your RAS doing its job. Filtering 11 million bits of data per second and surfacing everything that matched the thing you told it mattered. Have you ever wondered why two people can walk through the same city and come home with completely different experiences of it? One notices the architecture. One notices the people. One notices tension, one notices beauty. Same city. Same day. Entirely different realities. That's not personality. That's two different RAS configurations producing two different edited broadcasts of the same raw data. The next time you notice the Baader-Meinhof effect happening, the moment you catch yourself thinking, that word is everywhere now, or, I keep seeing that car, pause. Because what you're actually witnessing is your own filter becoming visible to you. A rare moment when you can see the editing happening in real time. Your brain is not a camera. It never was. It is a director. Constantly deciding what makes the cut, what gets left on the floor, what the final version of reality looks like for you today. And the moment you learn something new, the moment something shifts from invisible to noticed, you aren't seeing more of the world. You're seeing a different one.